Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this afternoon's webinar session. I just firstly want to say thank you for taking the time to join us today, and I really hope you get a really deep understanding of BAE Systems, who we are, who the panel are, and also the opportunities available to you within our organisation. So, as I say, I hope you enjoy the session. Any questions you have as we go throughout it, please pop in the question box, and our panel will answer them towards the end. So firstly, what I want to do is just take you through the purpose of today, really, and make sure you have a clear understanding of what we want you to walk away feeling. So the first one really is to have that clear understanding of who we are. And then secondly, thoughts on why you should consider us for a graduate or undergraduate programme, why you think you'd be a really good suit, and what we can provide you as an organisation. Have that feeling that no matter who you are, no matter your background, your skills or your interests, there is a place for you at our organisation, and hopefully you get a really good understanding and walk away feeling that. Again, the variety of roles within BAE Systems, we have such a variety of people and roles within this organisation. We hope this really comes across. And then, as I say, finally, to get all of your questions answered that you still may have, even once the session comes towards a close. So as you see, we've got many faces joining us this afternoon. So we are calling them our expert panel, who are going to share their insights and experiences with you that they've had to date within our organisation. So firstly, we have Lucy Evans. So she is currently a total talent associate on our undergraduate placement programme. And she currently sits within head office and has joined us while completing a degree in media and communications at Loughborough University. We also have Zara, who's joined us on our graduate programme as a procurement officer within the maritime services business, and joined us after completing a civil engineering degree at the University of Liverpool. Then we have Adam, who's currently on our graduate programme after deciding to make a career change, and he's currently within a role within change and training management within our maritime services business. We also have Kartika with us, who's currently working as systems engineer after graduating from our graduate programme back in 2021. And then finally, there is myself, who is a communications advisor within our shared services business, and I graduated from the project management graduate scheme this time last year. So firstly, we just wanted to give you a bit of a high-level insight into our business and who we are. So ultimately, we provide our customers with some of the world's most advanced technology-led defence, aerospace and security solutions. That is who we are at a very high level. We have a workforce of around 93,000 across 40 countries, which makes us a truly global organisation. And we work right across the product lifecycle, developing, manufacturing and supporting our military capabilities and products that protect our national security. But beyond that, who are we beyond just the high level? What more do we want to make sure we provide our people, our customers, and who do we really strive to be? And that is really summarised perfectly in our purpose. And it really demonstrates the culture that we embed within BAE Systems. Our purpose statement is to serve, supply and protect those who serve and protect us. And that's at the core of everything we do. We have customers and people using our equipment every single day. And those people are protecting us, and we've got to make sure we get it right, and that is really important to us. But beyond that, we do have some key values, which are also really important to us as an organisation, and hopefully you can connect with. The first, obviously, being to provide that security and safety. And whilst it says yes, to our customers, it's also to each other. That is also really important within our organisation. And then we have economic prosperity. We have a huge footprint across the globe, and some of our towns and cities, they are BAE Systems. We have such a big presence within them. And with that comes a responsibility, and our organisation takes that responsibility incredibly seriously around making sure those communities where we are in thrive. And then we have, that highly skilled jobs. We want to make sure that people are highly skilled. And we were able to put those skills into individuals and develop, a country and a skill force, a workforce that's incredibly skilled. And then developing cutting edge technologies. We keep advancing, we keep being innovative and making sure that everything we provide is cutting edge. And we make sure that we have the workforce do that, and develop a culture where people are able to feel they can come in with new ideas, test them, play around, but ultimately make sure that our customer, has some of the best equipment in the world. And then we obviously have our net zero ambitions, and that's to be, net zero across our operations by 2030. And that is something that our organisation is working towards with it as part of our ESG agenda. So in a little more detail, what do we do? What do we provide? As we break down the business, what does that mean? So firstly, we have our maritime business. And that makes up naval ships and maritime services, and also our submarine programs. So within that, we deliver the world-class combat ships, the world-class submarine program, and also we support our in-service fleet. So, the aircraft carriers you might see down at Portsmouth, our maritime services team do a great job making sure they support that fleet. But we also train our armed forces to use our equipment. Then we have our air business, again, similar but very different to our maritime sector. So within air, we develop and deliver world-class combat aircraft. Whether that's the Typhoon that you sometimes see flying around, or the Future Combat Aircraft Programme that is taking place at the moment. And again, we have that in service support for our armed forces and the RAF, maintaining, those products to make sure they are safe, but also at full capability. And then we have our land business, and within our land business, we design, manufacture, upgrade, and support our amphibious combat vehicles, and then also we manufacture precision munitions as well. The land business is very vast. And is a great one. And then finally, we have our digital intelligence business, which we deliver cyber intelligence and security capabilities to US, UK, and other governments to help them address any national threats that occur. But also within this business, we have started to deliver a range of space capabilities. We are really expanding within the space market, and have made a few acquisitions which really show how seriously we're taking that. And those, we create those capabilities that enable the integration across all of our products, whether that's cyber, sea, land, or air, allowing for a total secure access to intelligence across the globe. And then finally, I just wanted to we just wanted to include this slide to show you what we mean when we say truly global. So yes, whilst we have the majority of our workforce in the UK, we also, have a significant workforce in Australia, working on our Hunter program, which is a naval ships program. We also have a big footprint in the Kingdom, in Saudi, and then we have our Inc. business in the US. But we also have a lot of other sites dotted around the globe. They just show, where the bulk of our activity takes place. So hopefully that gives you a bit of appreciate that's a whistle-stop tour in 10 minutes of BAE Systems, but hopefully that gives you a really good insight into, who we are and what we deliver and the culture which we have. And I believe I'm now passing over to Nicola and Jack.
Thanks, Poppy. Go on to the next slide, please. So recruitment hints and tips. So if you're right to go on to the next slide, yeah. So I'm Jack Windsor, and I'm a recruitment specialist within the Air Division, and I recruit for graduates, undergraduates, and summer interns throughout the UK. I concentrate on aerospace, systems, integration engineers, project management, and human factors, just to name a few of the roles that I look after. So looking at the slide, the graduate recruitment opportunities we've got available in 2024, we have opened our 2024 roles for April, June, July, August and September. We are recruiting for over 1,000 graduates, undergraduates and summer interns in 2024. There are a variety of engineering, non-engineering and business vacancies available. The BAE Systems Early Careers website contains all of the roles available for 2024. Includes the location, salary and degree criteria for each role. Next slide. Okay. So just looking at this slide, this basically gives an oversight about the recruitment process stages. So the first stage is the application stage, where candidates will submit an application through the GTI applicant tracking system online. We then look through the applications, screen the candidates to review whether they meet the criteria for entry in regards to the role they've applied for. And then we go on to the online assessments, where if a candidate meets the criteria of the role, they're automatically invited to complete an online games and on-demand interview. After that, we then provide feedback to candidates, which will receive automatic feedback from that assessments. And then we move on to the live interview stage. Candidates complete live interviews, which will be virtual. And then after that, we have the offer stage, where successful candidates will be offered with conditions. Medical and security checks will then be initiated. And the final stage is the start date achieved. So candidates commence employment on their specified start date. The start date is detailed on the website in the role detail, and there are various intakes throughout the year. I'm just going to pass you over to my colleague, Nicola.
Thank you, Jack. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nicola Caroleo. I'm a senior recruiter within the graduate team, and I work within the Maritime Services Division. So do a lot of recruitment for Portsmouth Naval Base, people at Broadoak and Cowes over in the Isle of Wight. So just following on from what Jack's been saying, just to give you further hints and tips with regards to applications and obviously your recruitment process. What we do look for within the process, we're looking for graduates that are enthusiastic about coming to work for a defence sector, that specialise in your certain topic of degree that you've been doing at university. We don't expect you to be the final article or the finished article when applying, because what you've got to remember is you're actually joining a programme. Our graduate programme is called Accelerate, and the whole point of you joining the programme is for us to mentor you and teach you and take you to that next step within your career. So please don't go getting your textbooks out on if you're successful in gaining an interview and thinking I've got to study very, very quickly everything I've done in the past 3 or 4 years for this interview. You know, we are fully aware you are not the finished article, and the whole process of this graduate programme is to teach and mentor you and take you to that next step. But some things that obviously we are looking for, and obviously what the company offers you as well, are diversity and strengths within our business, and we welcome individuals who are currently underrepresented within our industry, including women and people from ethnic minorities, people with disabilities, and obviously we have a massive LGBT community within BAE Systems as well. We are also a preferred home for veterans and reservists that are coming out of time served and bringing their skills and their engineering skills into the business, which we utilise. So things to look for, obviously, when you are looking through your application. We ask that you demonstrate interest, passion and commitment to do what you want to do. So again, in your specialised subject, think how that can be transferred, or the skills that you have so far, or the degree that you've studied, how can that transfer into the role that you are applying for. Be sure of the role and the location that you want to apply for, and the location is where you will be based. So if you're living in London but would like to join our Naval Ships Division, which is based in Glasgow, are you prepared to relocate? Not all our roles are hybrid, some are, but we are introducing more and more now. You will be in the office 3 to 4 days a week. So if you are wanting to relocate, please do take that into consideration. Ensure you check the degree criteria and that you are predicted a minimum of a 2-2. Okay, so as Jack explained earlier, all our vacancies are on the website, and it does state the degree required for that role. So please ensure that that is the degree that you are studying for, because otherwise you could end up being rejected. Prepare for the online interview. You were given time to prepare and use this time. So all our interviews, if you are successful, will be done online, and you'll be interviewed by two people. One is normally the hiring manager, and the second person will be normally somebody that's just scribing. So you'll probably look at that person's forehead throughout the interview, but the manager will have eye contact with you. So do prepare for your interview. We will be asking you, if you are successful, 6 behavioural questions and 3 technical questions. So your behavioural questions, we ask you to use what's called the STAR technique: situation, task, action, resolution. So please do research that. So we're asking you to talk about the situation or the scenario that you're discussing. Going to talk about your task, your actions, and obviously your resolution on the scenario that you've described. The 3 technical questions will be on the subject or on the job role itself. The only advice I can give you for that is think about the role that you've applied for, and what 3 things do you think you need to be successful in order to continue in that role or be successful in that role. But again, don't forget, we're not expecting the finished article. So there might not be a right or wrong answer there. Take your time to read through the graduate programme. Okay, this is all on our website. Our graduate programme is called Accelerate, and the graduate programme is roughly for about a minimum of 18 months. Monitor your emails regularly, including your spam, for any updates, and keep contact details up to date as well. So Jack also mentioned your application will come through an applicant tracking system, which is what we call GTI. So if your email address changes, your telephone number changes, your address changes, that is the platform there for you to keep all your details up to date, just in case. Okay, our emails, unfortunately, do happen to go into spam on a regular basis. So we do ask you, if you are in liaison with us, to check your spam on a regular basis. And ensure you adhere to deadlines given at each stage of the recruitment process. So obviously, the quicker you respond, if we're asking you for information, the quicker we can get your application through. And if you are successful, the quicker that we can get you through our security process to ensure that you will be starting on time. Next slide, please. Thank you. So some of our important dates, just to make you aware of when obviously we are looking to get people into the business. Our January roles have now been all filled, okay, and January will start on the 29th of January. We are still looking for people for April, June, July and September, and these roles will remain open until they are filled. November, December and January, interviews are taking place for the April, June, July and September roles. So we are aiming to get all our interviewed and offered and into our security process to ensure that you do start on time by the end of January 2024. So we don't really have long at the moment. So if you are thinking of applying, obviously do apply quite soon if you can do. Once obviously you've had your interview, we will let you know within a week, 2 weeks at the very most, whether you've been successful or unsuccessful, and we will let you know either way. And once, if you are successful, the next stage you'll get a notification via email, and it'll be a firm offer with conditions. And obviously the offer of employment is always conditional until you pass our security process, because we need to get you security cleared in order to start. Every person is different, so there might be somebody who we can't get through. So unfortunately, if we can't get you through, then obviously that offer will not go ahead. But 99.9% of the time, everybody is cleared. And these are our intake dates. So you're looking at January the 29th for graduates, the 22nd of April is graduate intake. If you're looking for a summer internship, which is 12 weeks, or a 12-month placement, if you're looking to step out of university to get some work experience, that 12 months, that start date will be the 24th of June. 8th of July again for graduates. Our finance graduates do start a little bit earlier on the 19th of August, and you will attend a 2-week college course before joining the rest of the graduates on the 2nd of September. So our team, the recruitment advisors, We'll answer any questions if you have a question. However, please do bear in mind, we can only speak to yourself in connection to your application. We can't speak to mum, dad, nana or granddad or your partners. We can only speak to yourself, and that's obviously with regards to GDPR regulations. You can contact the recruitment team at gart@baesystems.com, and we will also share that email address with you further in the presentation. Or you can contact us on 0208 068 2868. Thank you. So moving on to our next slide, please. Okie doke. So obviously, be sure to visit our website. All our vacancies are on there, and that's at baesystems.com/graduates. However, we do have a couple of people on our call today, on our panel, who have been through this process and have come from different backgrounds, and we've got a couple of questions for them today. So I'd like to start with Kartika. Kartika is a woman with a cultural background and is an ambassador with BAE. So good afternoon, Kartika. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
No worries. So just a couple of questions for yourself. So what is your role within the network that you are working for at the moment?
Yeah, so like mentioned earlier, I was a graduate. I was in the GDF program, Graduate Development Program. I graduated in 2019 as a computer scientist, and then I did my scheme in 2019 and finished off in September 2021. So at the moment, I am a systems engineer within Naval Ships Combat Systems. I report to the head of discipline of system engineering, and we're part of a functional team. My role is to support and provide projects with system engineering subdiscipline areas such as model-based system engineering skills.
Oh, amazing. So what impact do you have, do you feel that you have within the wider business?
Yeah, so I think we've seen throughout the number of years, we've seen the landscape of engineering is really changing. Not only we're sort of seeing an increase in use of technology and innovation, but we're also seeing more women entering the field of engineering. So as a respected female engineer, I've collaborated and supported different female graduates across the business. So this was when I was in the grad scheme. We were able to sort of discuss and showcase some of the project that we've worked in. So I think visibility is really important, and just sort of seeing other women on the same career path as me, sort of doing outstanding work, which is really inspirational. So I think it really creates a new image of engineering.
Oh, amazing. And how's that made you feel then throughout your career with BAE?
Yeah, it's been great. I've really enjoyed working collaboratively to sort of combine technical solutions and gain the understanding of what other disciplines bring to engineering as well. So I work a lot with human factors as well, and you don't really realize how diverse engineering is. It's, you know, it's creative, and it's all sort of around us, to be honest. And I sort of enjoy working in this environment, and you sort of get to meet lots of different people trying to achieve the same goal. So yeah, I found it to be really inclusive, friendly, and supportive.
Oh, thank you, Kartika. Thank you. So obviously when I was talking earlier about relocating, we've got a young lady with us today, Zara Ferguson, who has relocated. Good afternoon, Zara. How are you today?
I'm good, Nicola. Yeah, so I have relocated from Northern Ireland, so actually the West Coast, so pretty much as far as you can go. That's where I'm from.
Oh my gosh, you're really far. So why did you decide to relocate for this role?
I really just wanted to move out of Northern Ireland over to England just because of the engineering opportunities. You know, there isn't much infrastructure where I'm from. It's mainly farming and that's it. And then I definitely wanted to work in the defence sector. I think it's recession proof, and it's, you know, it's all this new, all the new things that you can be working on. Like, it's really top of the line. So yeah, it was a no-brainer, to be honest.
Okay, perfect. And obviously BAE, we are known nationally. We've got sites up from Scotland down to Portsmouth Naval Base, obviously. So what was it about the site that attracted you to it? Why did you choose that site in particular?
I chose Portsmouth Naval Base because I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of look out your window and see ships every day, so you can actually see what you're working towards. My partner is also in the Navy, so it really worked that way as well. We can actually have lunch together. But yeah, I just love the idea of being able to walk out of the office and you see a Type 23 or the Queen Elizabeth. It's amazing. So.
Oh my God, I can imagine how exciting that would be. But did you feel like you faced any challenges when you were relocating? Was there anything that you potentially were worried about? Anything that you felt like you needed to overcome? What was that actually like?
So personally for me, my partner actually deployed on my first day with the Navy. So it was because BAE works in defence as well. I was able to speak to other ladies and spouses whose partners were deployed. So the support system was really there already. And as well, I was kind of nervous about moving to, because everybody, it's kind of like uni. Everybody is moving. Everyone's really friendly and everyone kind of is in the same boat. Pardon the pun, but yeah.
Yeah, no, get that, absolutely. And what do you like about living in your location then at the moment? Obviously, you've got the support network around you. What would you say Portsmouth's like as a town?
I love Portsmouth. You can, go out on the beach as well. And the grad scheme is fantastic because everyone's super keen to go well water swimming and go to the Isle of Wight for a day trip, and it's like a little seaside town. It's lovely.
Oh, amazing. So for everybody on the call today, what would you recommend about relocating to sites if anybody was thinking about relocating? What would your advice be to them?
I say definitely go for it. When you leave uni, it's a bit weird going back home again. I find it weird anyway. So it was great to kind of force myself to get out of mum and dad's and relocate somewhere else and find a new city and kind of find my own feet. So I'd recommend it. Everyone's in the same boat as you are. Everyone's really keen to make friends. And, you may as well just make the jump while you're young. I don't know. It just seemed right for me.
Oh, thank you so much, Zara. That's greatly appreciated for your time there. So just going to hand back to Jack. So Jack's going to have a chat with Adam. So Adam decided to change his career completely. So I'll pass you over to Jack, who can have a chat with Adam. Thank you.
Thanks, Nicola. So obviously Nicola's mentioned it there briefly, but Adam decided to change career. So hi Adam, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Just wanted to find out about your background and what you did after you graduated.
So I graduated about 10 or 11 years ago, and actually went full-time in what was my part-time job at the time, while I looked for my career choice. And I actually started a career at Barclays Bank, and I spent 10 years there.
Yeah, great. And why did you choose to change careers?
So I changed careers because Barclays couldn't offer me opportunity and career progression. So I was sort of stuck in the role I was in, couldn't see a way forward. And BAE, if anything, has a lot of opportunity and lots of different roles and different things you can do. And the graduate program offers a lot of that as well. So it was a real sort of fit the gap and the need that I wasn't getting where I was.
Yeah, that sounds good. So why was it that you chose BAE Systems?
I'll come back to that opportunity piece. My wife works for BAE. She works in recruitment. She pushed the role my way. It was of interest to me immediately because it's in a change role, which is the role I am now in. But it was no change to me in terms of my life. I could get the same salary. I could get the same flexibility and benefits, but I had so much more opportunity in front of me, and if that was at any point I would say that's great about BAE is the opportunity and the different business units. Even inside business units, there's so much opportunity to do something a bit different.
Yeah, and obviously there's quite a lot of difference between the two organisations. So how was it dealt with in terms of like support and training for you when you joined BAE?
So this is another real benefit of the graduate program. You get so much support and stuff pointed your way. You get personal effectiveness, you get a coach, you get access to mentors, you've got time allocated for your own development and what they call stretch objectives, so you can go and do something a bit different or learn something new. So much support and so much help that I didn't get in my previous role.
Yeah, great. And what skills did you learn in the previous role that meant you were able to transfer that over to BAE Systems?
So this is something that was a reason why I wasn't willing to change. Actually, I didn't feel like banking skills would transfer to another industry very well. But the reality is they do. Everybody, or all business works the same way. They all use emails, they all use communication, they all use Word, Excel. So those skills, those soft skills, those business skills, those things you do every day, all really do translate well. And that was the biggest learn for me moving, actually, that you can hit the ground running. You haven't got to learn the whole thing again.
Great. No, I really appreciate your time today, Adam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just going to have another chat with Lucy, who came through at one of our undergraduate programs. So, hi, Lucy, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So, in regards to your background, would you be able to just give us a bit of information about who you are and your education?
Yeah, so at A-level I studied English literature, business and PE, and then I moved on to university and I studied communications and media. Did that for 2 years. Now I'm here on my third year out as a placement student, and I'm a total talent associate.
Great. And what was it? Why did you want to do an industrial placement with BAE Systems?
One of the first things that really drew me in was I'd read a load of good reviews from different people online and also people from my university that had done a placement at BAE. So I applied, and I didn't actually get the first role that I applied for, but a couple months later I got an email about another role that they think I'd be suited to. So I think the fact that they really keep people in mind and reached out was what ended up with me choosing to stay with BAE.
Yeah, great. And what projects have you been involved in, or have you been involved in, and how much responsibility have you been given?
So each month I do the board report for Total Talent. So that's involving like talent acquisition, talent management, performance. So I'd say that's quite a bit of responsibility because the board sees it. I've updated a lot of documents on the intranet that everyone needs to see. Because it's an environment that's always changing, so of course it needs updating. And I've recently joined a new project I'm actually at a workshop for at the moment, the HRET project. So I get to see those higher up making a load of decisions, and yeah, it's great.
Great. And what support and training have you been given, and what have you got out of the placement so far?
So in regards to support and training, my first week I had an induction, which was great because I got to meet loads of other placement students, and we had like a workshop where we got to understand more about BAE because it's such a big organisation and there's lots you need to learn. And then I was allocated a buddy when I moved into my workshop, so they were there to answer all my questions and show me around, and then my line manager and all my team's always there to help me whenever I need.
Yeah, great. And what's the best thing about working for BAE?
I think the community is just great. Everyone's so nice and they're always encouraging you to get involved, and there's so much flexibility in terms of work, your role, like there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you like to continue your career with BAE Systems, and how would you like to do this? Have you considered applying for one of our graduate schemes?
Yeah, that's something I'd definitely like to do. I've been having a look into the graduate schemes, and I think there's quite a few that I'd like to go into if given the opportunity.
Yeah, no, great. Thanks, Lucy. Really appreciate your time. So I'm just going to hand back to Nicola to open up for any questions.
Thanks, Jack. So hopefully having listened to our panellists today has given you an insight into BAE, what we do, how to get to where they get to, things that they've considered, obviously with regards to their application, about relocations, changing of career, what they do within BAE. I mean, it all sounds very exciting, and every story is different. So if you are thinking of applying, obviously still on the screen now is our BAE Systems website. So please head to the website and get your application in, so we can consider you for those roles. So we'd like to throw the floor open for any questions. If you'd like to pop your question in the chat box, as the panel will work through them, we'll answer those questions out loud for you. Don't think your question is a silly question, because it's not. If you're thinking it, somebody else will be thinking it on the call as well. So I'm just looking through the questions at the moment. And Roxanne, I think you've asked a question here with regards to when your application will be considered for the naval ships role for September 2024. We are working our way through applications at the moment, so do expect a call soon if you have been successful. But like I said in the presentation earlier, we will let you know either way whether you've been successful or unsuccessful with your application in due time. There is another question at the top here. Oh, it's just moved. Sorry, from Adelucia. Is there a graduate scheme for IT project management? Yes, there is. Again, please do look on our website for our roles within that division. And also, Maria, I think you're asking for data analysis or related graduate roles. The majority of our data analyst roles are in Preston, shared services, or down in Frimley, our head office. So again, please have a look at the website, check your degree matches, and get your application in there. Do we have any other questions? I have checked a few of the graduate roles with STEM, biomedical science degrees will be considered. Yes, it will, Zainab, because that is obviously part of the science. We do consider those.
I don't mind picking up the question from ISOSA. So we consider you don't have to be a recent graduate. It doesn't matter at all when you graduated. So yeah, obviously feel free to apply. It doesn't matter when you graduated at all.
Yeah, just on the back of that, Jack, you'll be surprised at how many mature graduates that we actually have that come into BAE. The number is quite big, so it doesn't matter, like Jack said, when you graduated, as long as you've got the degree and that degree matches your application, you'll be absolutely fine.
Narif Sam, do you have any graduate schemes suitable for life science students? Yeah, because obviously that comes under STEM, so your application would be considered for quite a few different roles that we've got available.
So question here from Rupa, do you have any visa restrictions? We look at every visa on an individual basis. Obviously, it's personal to yourself. So please do, again, apply and we will advise you accordingly with regards to the role that you've applied for and obviously the visa that you've come in on. So do we have any more questions? I'm sure you're all thinking about it. Don't be shy.
I think there's one here around, would there be any technical questions in the in-person interview? And I was interviewed a while back, so I don't want to answer that and get it wrong. So Nicola, do you know the answer to that?
Yeah, so within the interviews, there's 6 behavioural questions and 3 technical questions. So that's to answer that question.
Yeah, fabulous. I did think
technical questions are focused around the actual role itself.
Yeah, so as I explained earlier in the presentation, the technical questions, they're not there to catch you out. What they're there to do is give our hiring managers an understanding of where you are at or what you understand about the subject that you're being taught. So like I said, we're not expecting not expecting you to be a finished article at all. The whole point of the graduate programme, the undergraduate programme and the summer internships is to give you that experience, is to mentor and teach you to get you to the next step within your career.
Roxana, there's no coding tests as far as I'm aware. No, won't be any coding tests. It's just more questions to get an understanding about what you know about the role, more than actual practical tests.
So just to give you a little bit more information on the application process, if any of you are thinking about any questions. So obviously once you've registered an interest online, you'll go through some gaming assessments, which if you're a gamer is really good. You'll quite enjoy that. And then there is a online video interview, which you need to do, and a couple of questions obviously after it. But if you do have any questions with regards to that, you can email us at gart@baesystems.com, and hopefully we will answer those questions accordingly for you.
We will also be circulating these slides afterwards to you all, so that you've got those as a point of reference. And please do feel free, if you've got any sort of specific questions, to reach out to us, and we will endeavour to do our best to respond to you. So if you think of anything after this that you're sort of keen to ask us, but please do get in touch. There's a few questions coming in around sponsorship for international students. I don't know whether we are in a place to answer that.
So very similar to the Rupa who asked about visa restrictions earlier, we can only look at that person's application and we take it on a case-by-case basis. So you could be sponsored, you might not be sponsored. It very much depends on your application itself. So please don't be put off by that. Please do still apply, and we will talk you through your application once we've received that.
Wonderful, thank you, Nicola. I think that's all questions, Poppy. I think that there was a couple around. There was one someone mentioned around progression, sort of after being on the scheme, and I think from a personal experience, that will be very much dependent on the journey you have. Everyone's experience in a graduate scheme is very different, and it really depends on your skills, capabilities, what you've learned, and how you progress using the opportunities that BAE support. I don't think, we have career paths and we have things in place to help you move through the organisation, but they're not time stamped. Everyone's is very individual. And I don't know if anyone wants to add on to that. I've moved around. I come from project management and now in communications. So it really depends on what you want to do. But Jack and Nick, I don't know, or even Zara, I don't know if you've got anything to add to that.
So we have what's called a Future Talent Programme for graduates, which your manager, so very similar to what Poppy said, everybody learns at a different level, different speed, different techniques. You might start as a systems engineer but finish as a mechanical engineer. So there are lots of opportunities, and we also have what's called a Future Talent Programme. So if you are somebody who accelerates and learns quite quickly, it's like a fast track into management and your manager will identify that with you. So throughout the whole of the programme, from starting with us to finishing with us, you will have catch-up meetings with your management to talk about how well you're doing, what next steps are, any future development that you wanted. So your manager will identify that with you. You also have the opportunity to talk to your manager, and it's all about planning your career. The programme itself is set for 18 months, and once you get to your end point year, you'll have your review with your managers, and from that review you could then go into a permanent position. If you finish at the 18-month point, some people might finish at 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. Again, it's very much down to you and how quickly you develop, or how quickly you want to take that career. I would say 90% of our students or our graduates go on to take permanent positions within BAE Systems, whether that's within the role that you would currently be doing, or the role that you wanted to apply for, or whether that's moving into a different sector or a different business unit, or even relocating if you wanted to go back home. If you've relocated away from home and you wanted to go back home, there is lots and lots of opportunities within BAE Systems. So I just wish you all the very best of luck.
Finish this question here from Josh. What are some of the common challenges that a graduate might face transitioning from a student or different sector into the graduate program? I don't know if one of the grads on this call could maybe say what challenges they might have faced.
I think the biggest challenge for me would be understanding the business. It's quite complex in its nature, and the security element gets in the way a bit sometimes as a necessity. But having said that, there isn't a consideration as a graduate that you're going to take time to learn these things. So there's never any pressure to do anything at any speed, and they'll give you the time to work things out and build your understanding.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, I'd also add to that. I think is the biggest thing I found moving from a student to a graduate is that you don't know the answer, or / there's not a set answer. So in university, you spend your whole time sort of reading and learning towards a set answer, whether that's your exams, your dissertation. You know, your teacher or your lecturer knows the answer they're looking for, whereas you spend a lot of time sort of in your graduate program figuring out what people want. You test things a lot. You don't always have the answer straight away. And that can be infuriating. You know, somebody can set you a brief, you go off and do it, and you come back and it's not what they want, or what the customer wants, and you just sort of figuring that out can be quite frustrating. But it's a really good lesson to learn. What I found anyway.
Thanks, Poppy. Just picking up on the second part of the question for Zainab there. Obviously, Zainab, you're asking what type of STEM roles we can match, obviously, whether irrespective of whether you're international or not. If you do look if you go to our websites in each role does specify what degree we need, and sometimes we put STEM, so it could be anything within STEM, or we could put just engineering, so that would be any engineering, so we would accept STEM in that. Science, you could do any science, so obviously STEM is a science. Technology, again, depending on what technology you might be studying. So the field for STEM is quite vast. So, you know, please don't be put off by that. If you do see STEM or a science, technology, engineering or mathematics, please do still apply. Thank you. So do we have any other questions from anybody? Got a couple more minutes. So please don't be shy. If you are thinking it, somebody else will be thinking it as well. Just remember that no question is a silly question. No, you're welcome, Zainab. So
I think we're good.
I think we're good. That's it. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for your time, everybody, today. If you do come off the call and do feel that you do have questions, obviously, please email us at gart@baesystems.com and we will come back to you. So, yeah, thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.